It's episode number 12 of The Elevation on Fan Day Nation. I am Danny Williams, Mark Jackson, and Jeff Gersh.
Hello, ladies.
How are you? We're happy to be here. Mark was out of town. I was out of town. We're back. Hey, we're back. We're back.
Baby. This is what Vance Joseph back that whole time.
Absolutely. We're happy to be here. So much has happened, and just you do 1 week off. And all of a sudden, you got so much stuff to catch up to. But you know, we've been kind of ahead of schedule on the Elevation on Fan Day Nation. We've been on top of everything. It's summer. Can we have a little break here, too?
Yeah.
Summertime break?
Summertime.
Okay, so it's episode number 12.
Triple-double. Oh, number 12.
We start the show, at least the first 100 shows of the Elevation on Fan Day Nation before Gatorade buys this whole thing. I mean, again.
Smart move, Gatorade.
Young stars, great, all-time great brand. You probably want to collaborate with us if you're Gatorade.
Yeah,
absolutely. And do you know what? I've been drinking Gatorade for years. Water sucks.
For years.
Gatorade's better. What's your favorite Gatorade flavor?
I don't know if that's a slogan. Is that a slogan? You just made that up.
That's original.
That's original.
Really, really sucks.
Gatorade.
How about that?
We got the 4th of July just around the...
Yeah.
It's almost gone.
In America, and I'm proud to be American. At least my Gatorade's free. Whatever. Okay.
You want free Gatorade? Just call that number below.
When I'm president, all the Gatorade will be free.
Absolutely loved it.
Have you ever thought of that?
That's a great campaign.
Thank you.
Mark, when you think of the number 12 on a jersey in any sport historically all time, I think 12 is one of these magic numbers.
It is.
A lot of guys are 12. Biblical even.
Yeah.
Oh, it's biblical.
Tell me what do you mean by that?
12 tribes of Judah. 12. There's 12 months in a year.
If you don't know what that
means,
There's 12. Can you give me a little more? Can you elaborate? Obviously, we know
what the 12 tribes.
Can you name 2 tribes? I can't name 1 tribe of Judah.
Let's see.
12 tribes.
Job?
Judah was one of the tribes.
Navajo,
good.
And the Aztec.
Oh, the Rapaho.
Yep.
Oh, Slapaho.
Careful.
Sorry.
Careful.
That's not one?
Hashtag Me Too. We're still at the end of the Me Too thing.
I don't know enough about Judea.
I know Trump's president again, but we're still
the
Me Too stuff.
There's a tribe of Benjamin. There's a tribe of Judah. There's a tribe of who else? All the brothers.
Daniel.
Yeah.
My brother.
The Lion.
Yeah.
Elton John.
Right.
Yep.
He's got a tribe.
12.
Okay, 12.
I got
Brady.
We're not thinking the number one. So I just think. So when I think of 12s, I think of quarterbacks. Don't you just think of quarterbacks automatically?
I do.
Like in any other sport, does the number 12 dominate? The number 12 dominates in the sport of football at the quarterback position. Joe Namath.
Yep.
The great one, right?
Absolutely.
Randall Cunningham. Come on.
Listen, Mark.
Our first black hero.
Dude, I love
And my pastor at
Pastor Randall?
Remnant Ministries.
First
Las
church,
Vegas, Nevada.
Hold on real quick.
Thanks.
Yes. No,
First church, not much church.
It'd be a perfect time to say, you got to pray. Pray. Yeah, Randall Cunningham is an icon of mine.
Just to make it to
He's like
hey guys,
my hero. He's less than I'm more than a guy.
Viking.
Yeah.
Greatest.
Oh, that's right. One of the greatest.
15-1.
15-1. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Tragedy.
Randy Moss. I was there.
Oh, my God.
We should have beat the Broncos.
Who won the Super Bowl that season? Well, I guess we'll never know. Anyways, number 12.
12.
Speaking of can't win the Super Bowl, Jim Kelly.
Roger Staubach.
Jim Kelly, number 12.
Another
I was
12.
talking to Roger Staubach, too, and now I'm going to look at the phone for anyone.
Who else we missing?
Hey, Fat Lever. Took me a minute.
Lever.
Tied in a little Denver roots.
You're Fat Lever.
Thank you. I was out of town. I put on a few pounds. We had that Chinese buffet a couple days ago in Pennsylvania.
No.
It's like a Binghamton.
Whoa.
Maybe Scranton.
Baby Scranton.
I'm not sure, but we hit that Chinese buffet. And they do their stuff on the East Coast a little bit different. Their fried rice is a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, they still love you a long time.
We love you.
I love that
But
about
I'll tell you, that Chinese buffet was popping off. Fortune. Went to Fortune buffet.
Did you?
Not Fat Lever.
So,
guys.
I'm
talking about.
Hey, Doug
Give me
Williams,
another 12.
number 12.
Of course.
No, I'm talking about the all-time leader.
No, he's number 17.
In steals.
No, he's 12.
Steals.
I mean, you played against him in a Super Bowl. So
I just watched the defense, not the offense.
Okay.
All right, so I got a trivia question for you.
All right.
You're going to love this one. 1990. I'm going to set the scene. It's Valentine's Day, and the Bulls are playing, and you have front row tickets. You're like on the court side.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan comes out with number
12 for one time only.
One time somebody stole his jersey,
and he had to wear 12.
So he wore 12 in that one game.
23 at halftime, or they didn't have?
No, they didn't have his jersey. Someone stole it.
Damn, I love
that. So he wore the number 12.
You may remember this.
Is that good or what?
Oh my God,
I'm good.
I went with that 45.
Well,
you're good. You're not bad.
Hey, I like 12. That's
I'm thinking, guys, the guy I've always loved.
What are you thinking?
Number 12,
John Morant. Stockton.
Steals and assist leader. Part of the greatest pick and roll combination until Jokic Murray came around.
Stockton.
I'll fill in the gaps and we'll move on with the show because 12 is an all-time number.
Yeah,
and we've done maybe one or two of these and through the top 12, but 12 is an all-time number. We'll go baseball. Wade Boggs and a guy who I liked, we just came from New York, Alfonso Soriano was a great 12. But we go to quarterbacks. You mentioned it. John Brody. Okay.
Going way back.
Ken Stabler.
The Snake.
Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Terrell Bradshaw. And Bob Greasy. We're talking about Hall of Famers at 12. That is the number for quarterbacks.
Yes.
That is the number for quarterbacks.
By far.
And it's kind of interesting. And then was Tom Brady given 12? I'm sure there's an answer, and maybe you know. Was he given 12 by New England because Bledsoe was 10?
11.
Oh,
what up?
You.
Damn, that's solid. That's solid, Mark. So, was he 12 because Bledsoe was 11, or was there something to 12?
It was this. He just wanted to one up Bledsoe.
Well, he did.
Yeah, I've never heard
I'm one better than you.
But it's forever enshrined as the greatest quarterback.
What do you wear in Michigan?
Is he the greatest quarterback in the NFL?
I thought 10.
Yeah,
Tom Brady.
I thought he wore 10 in Michigan.
It's kind of hard to argue.
What number did Tom Brady wear in Michigan?
Hey, Sherry.
So from dumpsters.com.
Dumpsters.com.
The hell?
That's gross.
It says right here. Hey, what do we know? He only wore number 10.
Number 10. You and I off the show.
We've done it again.
It's like we've did it again. Okay, let's move on.
Good stuff.
That's fun. I love that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's start with the NBA champion Thunder. Okay.
Give him a round of applause.
So, in our last show, were you talking about what were we heading into?
Well, you guys gave it to him on a gentleman's sweep. You guys, this thing was over. Me and Cecil got this whole thing figured out.
Not just us. Don't bring Cecil into this.
Every person in town. No one had the huevos to put Indiana in 6 or 7.
Well, wasn't that this? So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Was that orchestrated? Seriously,
yes.
Was what?
Everything is like
Game 6
scripted or orchestrated as much as
every foul call on SGA is orchestrated. I mean, the whole thing
Game
is
6 orchestrated. I think it was orchestrated by the NBA.
Yeah,
there's a collusion there. That hey, listen,
really?
Take this thing back to OKC so you guys can crown yourself at home.
You want to crown them?
You got it. You got it.
Crown them.
But they are who we thought.
So what's your point, though, Mark? You picked them in 5. You picked them in 5. Every other guy in town picked them in 5. I picked the Pacers, and I was 1 game away from being spot on.
Right, you're 1 game away from being right, but you were wrong.
Yeah, and so were the Nuggets. The Nuggets were 1 game away from beating these guys, and then they could have had a Pacers series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this whole thing is...
I guess we'll never know.
Oh, we know. It went to 7. It went to 7 games.
For a little credit.
He is.
Give the guy some effing credit.
Some street credit.
He had the...
Hey, good job picking that gentleman's sweep, you idiots.
He had the Pacers
really good.
More than we thought that they could do.
Way to take the easy way.
And again, I think one of those games were orchestrated. So,
oh, yes.
I'm going to say,
come on. As a whole, you can't, again... People think the NFL is scripted.
So I want credit for telling you that Indiana's a good team. Mark won't give me credit because the refs are orchestrating events. Get out of here.
Not the refs. Not the refs. I think the whole NBA.
Hey, what sport is more manipulated of all the professional sports?
Don't bring the NFL up.
The most,
God forbid you bring the NFL up.
It has to be.
With Mark. The NBA is only 5 guys in the... Listen, there's 4 or 5 referees. There's as many referees on the court as there are players in the NBA.
Well, speaking of number 12s, Tom Brady got the... what was that one with the fumble against the snow?
At the plate.
The tuck rule.
Tuck rule.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers has thrown 1 million interceptions that got taken back for a roughing the passer penalty. We can go through how an official can change a whole game on one call.
Again, I wasn't blaming
University of Texas should have lost to Arizona State and Cam Scatabo, but the officials made one call.
Let's not go down that route.
But my point is, we're not talking about free throws. We're talking about one big-ass call.
But you know what?
First down.
Mark, no, I think in a 7-game let's just make this point.
Okay.
The NFL, it's win or go home.
One game.
Yeah. The 7-game series.
So who's got more pull?
You can lay down a game and say, let's take this back to our house.
But which referees, which league has more pull to manipulate a game?
I wasn't talking about the referees, Mr. Gross.
Yes, you were. You said
I said the NBA, not the referees. The NBA.
The NBA.
So
that's just the persona of the NBA. They take nights off.
Could be more manipulated than the NFL.
Throughout
going down this road, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd have to think. If you want to bring, because there's only 5 guys. It's the foul calling. It's the lean. It's the foul.
But there's holding. There's pass interference.
The NFL, guy has to drop back, fake the handoff. The line has to hold. You come play action. You got to throw that little fade in the corner. One guy has to go with Justin Jefferson.
Toes got to come down.
You guys are toes way off.
You still have to do that stuff in the NFL. The NBA's like, hey,
you're way off.
Oh, is that the line first of all, Shay's 12th free throw.
I didn't touch him.
That's Shay's 12th free throw of the game. And look, that's an 8-0 run by the
yeah, but one first down. Hey, guys, but one first down on a fourth quarter drive is worth more than 4 free throws.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Say that again. I'm going to hear that.
He said one first down.
One pass interference. One, illegal holding is a defense.
What?
Automatic first down on a third is worth more than 4 free throws.
I don't got the energy for this.
6 free throws?
No, do you know what? This is taking a direction.
One game.
I love it.
One game.
One game.
It's an interesting.
You can look back to any Broncos game that didn't go your way.
How many games do you have in the season?
But, bro, I'm trying to give Indiana credit. I'm trying to give them some credit. I mean, for real. You're telling me the NBA rigged it. I'm like, get out of here. Nah. The Pacers are a sweet team. The Oklahoma City's a young team.
Nothing against the Pacers. I'm just talking about the NBA. Listen, I wasn't.
Pacers showed a lot more than we
Indiana
thought.
Pacers. And I went to high school in Indiana.
Give the Pacers some love.
I'm a Terre Haute Bray.
He is.
Let's go, Terre Haute Bray. Too soon?
We never did that.
I don't forget to do that anymore.
Too late? It's
too late. All right. Well,
congratulations, Oklahoma City.
The Thunder are worthy champions. The Thunder are worthy champions. If Halliburton doesn't shred an Achilles in that game, ugly.
What do you think?
They're in that game, and it's a single-digit win, which means it's a Game 7 single-digit victory.
It's a great series.
Which means it was either way, but again,
series.
Yeah. And it was, you know what? It was a lot like the Nuggets series.
It was.
It was a lot like the Nuggets series. We thought the
Pacers are up.
The Nuggets were going to be the best challenge.
Have a chance to go up 3-1.
The Thunder
at home
got all the entirety of the playoffs. That they've had the entirety of the playoffs, and it was kind of true. I think the Nuggets gave though the Thunder were the Pacers were very impressive. I think that the Nuggets in the end, man, showed that best player in the world versus second best player in the world. I was on the plane watching PTI with Heiser, and Michael Wilbaum, right?
Good night, Canada.
And they said that Shea was great in the series. I don't know what the topic was at the end of the show. And Tony says, Shea's won the MVP and he's the world champion, but Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. And just like this, you can go look it up, if you want to. Wilbaum goes, I agree. Jokic is still the best player was the best player in the world. And it was like a no-brainer. These are two sports icons in the media industry who's seen and called more games than anybody. So, let's keep it real, Nuggets, nation.
Should the Nuggets be repeating right now?
I think they should have 2 championships right now. But 3-peating means you won 3 in a row. I think 2 years of Jamal Murray injuries and just maybe what happened this year with the lack of depth was a year they could have won another championship. I think the Nuggets would have had 2 champions.
Is that Miles Turner available? I'd like to get him in a Denver Nuggets jersey. I really like the way Indiana pounded the paint on Oklahoma. It's the way the Mavericks beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
If everyone wants to talk about them being a dynasty, we can do that. But how do you beat a dynasty? You have to get in the paint on them. Here's the deal. They're long, but they're not big. They're long, but they're not strong.
That's what she said? I don't know.
Hartenstein's pretty strong. The rest of them are not. You need to get in the paint. And the way that the Mavericks beat them was dunks. The way the Pacers got to 7 was in the paint. So if you're the Nuggets, and if you're Ben Tenzer, big spender, Ben Tenzer, you got to get someone who can control the paint. Jokic should no longer be a center. Get a center for him.
I will say this.
Get him a center. He's a point guard.
All right, we're going to transition here in the first segment into the Nuggets hiring Ben Tenzer. Tenzer, I just met her. I hardly knew her. Tenzer. So
I give her a Tenzer. I give her a Tenzer.
I think you prognosticated that maybe about 3 episodes ago.
I was the only guy. People were talking about that as, you could see it.
Since you got at the fan, you've got some inside info that I like.
Well, find me all next week. No, I'm just kidding. But so Ben Tenzer, we knew that was kind of coming. Right. And what we didn't see coming was the hire of John Wallace, who was with the organization 3 years ago, has been then since with the Timberwolves and Tim Connolly, been doing some great work for those guys. He's like a Nugget. He's an OG. He's an alum. He's going to help Ben Tenzer. That's making me feel a little bit like, okay, we're getting a guy who's seen the other side, lived on the other side of the country a little bit to come back, have perspective of playing against and looking against the Nuggets rather than just being internal. That makes the Ben Tenzer hiring feel a little bit better, and it doesn't make me feel like Josh Kroenke and Stan Kroenke are making basketball decisions.
So who's the GM now?
Ben Tenzer.
No, Josh Kroenke. So Tenzer and Wallace are going to report to Kroenke.
Okay. Let me ask you this:
How basketball you keep it around here?
I think it's scary, actually, to me.
Did you see the Kroenke
as
interview?
a Nuggets fan, I'm a little afraid.
Do you know what the difference is to help somebody out who's not understanding this?
Yeah.
Pat Bolin took the information from his football people.
I love your family.
And then said, okay. Jerry Jones is making football decisions, saying yes or no.
Yeah.
And that's why in the last 30 years, the Cowboys have won no championships. And that's why in the last 30 years, the Nuggets have elevated themselves as one of the most premier franchises in sports.
Do you think, though, if you are that great of a franchise, is that why you hired from within? Or do you think if you were trying to be the greatest, would you search far and wide for the greatest?
Jeff, Mark's saying that Josh Kroenke is going to make the final decision on basketball stuff.
So no matter who you searched, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You've got the guy in the building.
Supposedly they interviewed a couple guys. They interviewed, I think,
it's like a Rockets general manager
or the Warriors. There's
Bob Myers.
I think.
Yeah. It was on the draft
couple other. I think they were gratuitous interviews.
Okay.
Just to make it look like we're going through the process. Yeah, exactly. Rooney.
This.
I guess you could take it any way you want, but
Mark, that's strong, bro. Because someone has to say that because we could just move on and be like, okay, next for the Nuggets. No, okay. So when in sports has the history of sports, and I'm asking you guys, and we'll think about it, talk about it together.
He's asking you.
Yeah.
Comment, share, like, subscribe.
An owner makes the team decisions overall, and yet they go on and win a lot of championships. I don't think
when's that ever happened in the history?
I might have happened on a one-off. Really? Jerry might take credit for Jimmy Johnson,
right,
or Barry Switzer, and thinks he did that. But what's happened since? Barry Switzer was an all-time great coach. He won a collegiate championship and an NFL championship. That don't happen. Jimmy Johnson is in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Okay. So this is a weird road to go down. The last time the Nuggets went down this road, it was Brian Shaw, who Josh Kroenke hired after he fired George Karl. And it set the franchise back.
That's the guy you gave that sweatshirt to.
It was. That's George, my guy. It was then when they realized, Josh Kroenke realized, I've embarrassed myself with the Brian Shaw hiring. They fired him a year and a half into the tenure. Okay? Don't happen very often. Okay? And then they went and hired Tim Connolly and let Tim Connolly make basketball decisions. Whether Tim Connolly seized...
So is he going down that same road?
That's what you're saying? I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that Ben Tenzer is going to be empowered enough to make some decisions that Josh realizes he can't make. He wants to be in the room.
Wouldn't this be?
He could be in the room, Josh.
Isn't this a Monfortian decision, kind of? If I were to come up with a word that's never been said here,
I've never heard that word before.
Monfortian, to kind of keep it so within the family, that you're not willing to even expand your horizons.
There's something
like, are you so proud of yourself that you've hired all these great people, or are you hiring this guy because you know you're going to make the final?
Okay, so check this out. Let me ask you this. It's all about Jokic. So, is it better to have brought somebody from the outside in who you might think, well, they don't know Jokic like we do. They don't know this guy.
We're going to have Jokic.
This is good, though.
Okay.
That's a whole nother story.
The Cronkies are thinking, well, they don't know him like we do. We got to keep some semblance of something that made him, and that's Adelman. And maybe Tenzer in the background a little bit. And then even the guy who was here, John Wallace, a few years ago, rather than bring someone in from the outside and maybe blow this thing up or talk us into something that maybe might cost us, like the Bucks, who were a one-off.
Right. Well, the Nuggets are starting to look a lot like a one-off with this whole musical chairs, so to speak, thing that's going on, like in the
new general manager, new head coach, new assistant general manager,
right.
And
Jokic is coming up, right? They're talking about offering Jokic an extension.
Yeah, the Kroenke interview
Will he
went
take
sideways.
Yeah,
the guy we're putting so many eggs in Josh's basket, and he's done pretty well, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Right. But the most recent interview, are people making more out of that than they should? Or was he just spilling the beans? Like, he's obviously not going to sign the contract. We're going to go and do the thing where he gets the max because he didn't sign it, and we're going to max him out. Is he just explaining it to people?
That press conference was the post Tenzer and Wallace hiring, and I think they thought this. I don't know what people think. It's like, who's managing you when you think it's going to come in and maybe be a love fest, and people aren't going to ask tough and maybe hard questions. Yeah. But I think the Nuggets believe it's an afterthought. It's pen to paper, and there's no questions that Jokic is going to be a part of this franchise for the next 4 more years, or whatever 3 or 4 year extension is, right? But he's 30 years old. So after a 4 more year extension, he's 34 years old. Then at that point, does he want to retire? 2 years into this thing, if it goes sideways, does he want out? I would like to believe that Jokic is not that type of guy. Why would he be that type of guy? But I also don't want to be broke up with by the girl I love. You know what I mean? It's like, you might be thinking, man, life is so good. We got it so good.
Well, it's not the NFL, which stands for not for long.
So
it is
for life is what NFL stands for.
I like to think that the loyalty, it would be different with a guy like that who seems to be the best kind of guy you'd ever want. You know what I mean? He's the best kind of guy. He's pure. He doesn't take it too serious. Yeah, he'll get pissed. He's pissed when it's time. He's the greatest star we've ever had.
True. It's a business.
Greater than Elway?
If he wins another championship, I'd say
that's another segment.
Well, we have 2 more.
Let's wrap.
Maybe one. I don't know. That one was a long one.
Let's wrap this one up. Check this out, guys.
Yeah.
Too long.
So I was in New York City, right?
Exactly.
I was in New York City for a week. Okay? You know that, right?
You were in New York City?
Concrete jungle, wet dream tomato. There's nothing you can't do. And you know what? While I was rocking the entire time I was there, boom. Niko, can't get the real thing on this. This has got, look at this.
Bam, let's get in the stuff.
The strap for the
people.
What is
look
that?
At the strap. I got some
down
I got some things on here. This is shiny. Well, watch this. I'm going to take it off just like that. Uh-oh, it's off. But
I jump in the pool.
It's safely on again. Boom. Niko Stones. They got it. This is guy stuff. I'm feeling comfortable rock. I don't wear tons of jewels. I'm not Mr. T. Mark used to wear this gold jewelry. Ricky, Bobby, and Mike.
But I like the girl who.
This is what it's about. Niko Stones, they got it. What do you got?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love those guys.
Well, you don't have to have a lot of jewelry, right?
Got any Niko's
jewelry?
Yeah.
Yeah, going Sizzler. We going Sizzler.
Jeff, you're looking a little plain tonight.
Lame day is long.
Well, listen, I don't say
I didn't realize why I felt so naked when I got here today. Yeah. I didn't have that bling. I didn't have that swag.
I don't go anywhere with it.
Now I know right where it is. I'm gonna go. I can't wait to strap it on when I get home, man.
Go Stones for dudes, chicks.
GoStones.com.
Love it. Okay, let's set up a break. Come back. We're going to do some NFL over-unders at some point in the show. Mark's got it all set up for us. Jeff and I are going to compete head-to-head. Okay? Cooper Flagg was just drafted. We'll get, as we, in 10 years, when we're doing the 10-year anniversary show, we'll talk about Cooper. Remember Cooper Flagg just got drafted? We're doing the show and all that kind of stuff. We'll project 10 years into the future. We have a lot more stuff we're going to get in on the other side. It's The Elevation on Fan Day Nation. It's segment number 2 of The Elevation on Fan Day Nation. Mark Jackson, Jeff Gersh, I am Danny Williams. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate the interaction and the participation. We're kind of doing this project together here.
You guys.
Like, subscribe, whether you're checking out, comment, caught up on your thread with just a clip of the show. We want you to listen to the whole show. We try to keep it under an hour.
We give people for comments
prizes. Mark Jackson.
We want to buy your comments. Maybe we could give you a life supply of Gatorade or something.
That's expensive. Almost too much.
Not life. Maybe a month. All right.
Maybe a case.
A signed Gatorade bottle.
That's pretty sweet.
Bottle of your favorite flavor of Gatorade.
That sounds pretty sweet. Okay, so
that might be it.
First segment was kind of NBA centered.
Yes.
From the Thunder winning the championship, we went down a little weird of kind of a road of like which sports brand as a whole could be more manipulated.
Yeah,
that was a weird one.
That's strange.
That's for a whole show.
Jeff's own right.
Mark's fault.
That's Jeff's fault.
And then we talked about the Nuggets.
I don't want to point any fingers, but
the Nuggets and their new hires. But it's time to transition into some Denver Broncos conversation, into some National Football League conversation. So right now, training camp just around the corner, teams getting their roster set. You kind of know who is on the roster or not. I'd say there's 5 or 6 guys at the end of a roster competing. You tell me for a roster spot, right?
Yeah.
At this point,
you have a competitive room. That's awesome. I mean, when you go into camp, that's your goal as a coach, as a franchise, is you want to have the top quality people competing in the league, right? So back in the day, back when I used to play,
back in my day,
back in the day, we used to have 115 people come to camp.
Yeah.
What a great strategy. Dan Reeves would just bring everybody in, knowing that not everybody's going to make the team, but if they're in your camp, they're not in the Cowboys camp or the Chargers camp or any of your competitors' camp. So nowadays, you want to have that high level of competition. That's why, drafting the Jahdae Barron as a first round pick just increases the competition level.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to come in and compete immediately. Here's a guy that can come in and be behind Moss, be behind Surtain, of course, and learn and grow.
I've asked you this question before, but I'm going to ask you it again. You said you were at camp with 115 guys, even if there's 70 or 80 guys right now at Broncos camp OTAs, and there's 8, 6, 5 guys competing for those last couple spots.
Yeah.
How do you mark your each guy's was a star in college. Each guy's got, an ego, motivated for days. How does a coach decipher the best player from 5 guys that might look equal?
It's a crapshoot. It really is. I tell kids all the time. I'm going to tell parents, anybody that's listening to this, maybe you have kids or that aspire to play in the NFL. It's a crapshoot. You do your best, and you get in front of your trade practice. Love the game first of all, but the fact of the matter is, you can't get quality reps when there's 5, 6 people that are competing, especially like at the receiver position. Where there's so many other factors that are involved. It's not just you. I think probably one of the best positions you can play in the NFL would probably be the defensive cornerback or maybe an edge rusher.
Why?
Where you can decide your fate. If I can beat that guy and get to the quarterback, I got a job.
Right, one got to beat.
That's a premium position.
Quarterback's got to beat 11 guys out there. Yeah, running back's got to beat 11 guys out there. Wide receiver's got to be 4.
You got to have a quarterback that can get you the ball. You got to have a line that protects
defensive end's got to be 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, yeah. So,
okay, let me ask Jeff this question. Watch this.
I'm ready.
Does the same apply, Jeff, if you're 12 years old, 15 years old trying to make a high school team, trying to make a college team, where Mark's just saying it's like, work your ass off, have a big heart, be a good person, and let the chips fall. Isn't there more to it than that, or is that kind of like a life hard work thing?
I mean, there's stats out there that'll tell you that all the guys that made the All-Star team at age 12 probably maybe didn't make that D1 Scully. They might have got the D2 or something. There's guys that just grow up later. And so I think the 2 rules that we live by when I'm coaching these kids is keep playing and don't quit. And I think it worked for Mark Jackson.
Absolutely.
I think when Mark decided to keep playing, never quit, like he showed up at a place to just catch passes for his quarterback, and next thing you know, he's being drafted. He showed up after being kind of drafted, but all these great receivers in the room, he never quit. Keep playing, never quit. Keep playing, never quit. And where did it get you, Mark?
What stops you from never quitting, though?
You tell us.
It's loving the game.
Isn't it?
Loving what you do. If you love what you do, you'd never quit. I'm playing the guitar. I suck. But I keep playing, even though people tell me, you suck, stop. And you keep playing, and next thing you know.
And there's plenty of guitar players that have quit, dude, to make it the dream come for the family or to do, you know what I'm saying? There's something to be said about,
no,
you didn't quit, you kept playing. There's plenty of wide receivers that went to become insurance salesmen because it was going to work out best for their family, but you didn't quit.
Yes.
And so my 2 rules for the kids are keep playing and never quit.
Mark, was there another, we call it an alternate universe where you weren't drafted in the 6th round and maybe you got overlooked and maybe you were a very late round draft pick on a team that had receiver depth and it never happened for you like it did?
I mean, 6th round is like not being drafted. Back in the day, 6th round is like you have about a 35% chance of making a team. That was the stat back in the day. There was 12 rounds of the draft. So things have changed a bit.
Did you think you should have been drafted in the 3rd round? Tell me the truth.
No, I didn't. I was prepared to be a free agent. I think free agency is actually better because you can choose the team that you go to.
There's somebody said
Look at their roster.
Well, if you're a 6th round pick today as opposed to a 6th, 7th round, draft ends and then you're a free agent, for sure you're today.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got drafted to John Elway's team. You didn't have to worry about that was nice.
We're 15 deep in the receiver room. You got Clint Sampson, you had Steve Watson, you had Vince Johnson, you had Butch Johnson.
Now a legend.
Woo! What you
Oh, nothing spell.
You got a lot of people in that room.
Interesting.
That were coming back.
Did you keep playing?
Willis, pardon me?
Did you keep playing once you got into that room?
Oh yeah, well, absolutely.
Did you never quit?
Well, no.
How'd that go for you?
Absolutely. I love the game, so I kept showing up. I actually did try to quit though, so we won't go there.
Did you quit?
So no, I didn't. It wasn't official.
Guess what happened?
Yeah, we sometimes the show just takes a mind of its own and a life of its own, and that's fun stuff. Okay, let's continue our football.
Right.
I love that, Mark. That's like some of the best stuff we can do because we can only kind of get that from you, and we can only kind of do that together. It's special. It's nostalgic. Jeff and I have a 12 and 11-year-old who want to go play college ball and all that kind of stuff, and I just am, it's like the curiosity in me to what separates a guy like you from a guy who never made it and was really good as well and could have, didn't have the breaks or the
breaks,
the motivation, the pain,
everything.
Whatever. It's wild.
It's a combination. Okay, so let's talk about top defenses.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Absolutely.
So the NFL,
championships
are won by what? Offense or defense?
Offense scores points.
I'd say quarterback.
Defense wins championships.
Because you've had teams that won it with great defense that didn't have the quarterback. Okay. But in the history of the NFL, the quarterback is the ultimate. But the quarterback,
I can fight you on that.
Important
I'll fight you right now.
Entirety of the defense. The defense is as maybe at least the second most.
But name all the great quarterbacks
of all time
that have won Super Bowls. Do it right now.
Okay,
do it. Just quick.
Great quarterbacks.
Say Joe Montana. Say Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
No, say Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
Ronnie Lott. Say who'd you say? Elway. Yeah, that Broncos defense was sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Say,
Elway.
Say Eli Manning.
Yeah,
his defenses were out of
this world. The front.
Say Terry Bradshaw. Say Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw.
Steel Curtain. Maybe you've heard of it. Steel Curtain.
Yeah, no, you
Made in America.
Okay, well,
every one of these, even Tom Brady,
Bill
Belichick.
So
Bill Belichick, the greatest defensive coach.
You want to say Bill Belichick was the greatest defensive mind ever?
Defense wins.
And it made up for like the lack of star power and all that, and they had a couple tie laws and
all those defenses had quarterbacks that could score them.
Bruce Keats. What was his name?
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah.
So the quarterback will get the credit.
Who are the top 5 defenses in the NFL?
In the NFL this year?
5 defenses in another way who's could be good enough to elevate their team to win a championship.
There you go. Okay.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Question. Okay. I have 2 right off the bat.
I got the Eagles like just still there in my mind. They're front 7. I'm a big front 7 guy, and the way that the Eagles did it last year to Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl to make sure that they didn't three-peat, they have to be number 1 in my book.
Wasn't that good strategy?
And isn't that easy?
Good coaching?
Yes, but it was also execution. It was beating.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the front 7, and who cares? But the crazy thing is the Eagles were doing like a cover 4. They were doing a big shell. They were not, blitzing.
Right.
They were barely blitzing.
Yeah.
Their front 7 was...
They were doing it with 3-4 guys pressuring.
5 at max.
But that just goes to show you how good their front line.
But I think if I was Sean Payton and I was trying to win this whole damn thing, I would take notes on how to beat Pat Mahomes by only sending 4 or 5 guys.
Would you definitely sign Zach Allen to a multi-year contract?
I would.
Absolutely.
I would. He's that special. He's that unique. There's not lots of guys like him. That's like a position that people will. It's like hard to quantify the importance and the impact because it's not just sacks.
Right. Tackles, stops. He's got an 89% stop with
stuffing, leadership stuff. So but I think
give me a top 5 defense.
I'll give you one, okay, and I'm going to save the Broncos for the end. The Ravens. Their defense is great. Their secondary is wicked good. They got linebackers, and I think it's a John Harbaugh thing too that. John Harbaugh comes from the special teams, which people think, well, it's kind of like defense, kind of.
Yeah.
So people equate him to being a defensive coach a little bit. I think the Ravens defense is super duper special, not just because of the talent that they have right now, which is really wicked good, but John Harbaugh, you embody your coach of the underdog, I'm better than these guys, even though I was drafted later kind of stuff. The Ravens are just dogs. Always. And I think the Ravens defense is going to be spectacular.
So we got the Eagles, we got the Ravens. How about the Bills?
Okay.
The Bills defense is feisty, and their head coach McDermott's been known for being defense heavy. I mean, I always wonder though about them in the playoffs. Yeah, the Bills, their regular season defense, banging, but when it starts to snow, when it starts to get down to 4, 8 teams left, that's where they kind of come up short.
Yeah, they've crumbled.
But Bills are going to Bills, just like the Vikings. I mean, if you ask me, I'd put the Vikings defense in the top 5. I feel like they were unbelievable last year, and they only got better this year. They added Hargrave, and they added a couple different dudes in that front 7. Because I think when you see a team that was about to three-peat and they get beat, everyone studies the team that beat them.
The Texans are supposed to have a really good defense.
Nico's a badass too. Niko Ryans is a bad
and it
dude.
goes to their head coach, who's just that kind of guy. Embodies you embody your head coach sometimes.
Absolutely.
The Texans have kind of done that. They're going to be a defense that, man, I can't give you a bunch of name recognition on those guys, but you have to give what happened in the last 2 years for them to have a rookie quarterback 2 years ago, the rookie quarterback to a slump, sophomore slump. And you still make the playoffs and win division twice?
Right.
It's got to be a defense that we're not talking about. So one more quiet defense that people are saying is supposed to be good is the New York Football Giants. You're thinking, what? How? Who? The New York Football Giants have a bunch of pieces on their defense, young, talented guys, and they have
the offense was hurting them
over and over and over again. But
their front
is
4.
Defense dying in the NFL? I mean, we barely named 4.
I know. The defense took over for a couple of years, but offenses have the league wants the offense.
Oh, absolutely.
Succeed.
What about the Chiefs defense? We didn't mention them. We didn't mention the Raiders with Max Crosby.
The Raiders.
We didn't mention the Chargers. We didn't mention anyone from the AFC West.
Of those, that's where Bayer's the best.
Is there a reason why we're keeping them out of it?
Of those,
no.
The Chargers.
We also didn't mention the Broncos.
They're not top 5. So the Broncos, definitely number 1.
Okay, so now
the number 1 defense in the AFC West is the Broncos.
No, in the NFL.
Oh,
Not the AFC.
I'm sorry. Let me go to that. Mark.
Sorry, what?
Camera.
The National Football League.
Why are they the number one defense in the league?
Oh, I mean, last year they were the number one. Here's what I think is one of the top stats. So figures lie, liars figure. But if you're going to look at statistics, one of the top ones for the defense is your ability to force turnovers. And the Broncos led in that capacity. So, they started off the season with Bo Nix being a little interception prone, 12 interceptions on the season. But you cut that back, and now that turnover ratio is really what's going to win games for you. You think about that. How many teams can win a game and overcome 2-3? You look at the playoffs. You look at teams that falter in the playoffs. It's usually a turnover that makes the difference in the game. So a defense that has the ability to turn over the ball. We've got a ironclad secondary that just added more depth. Trey Greenlaw coming in at that linebacker position. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Listen,
that's true. You bought a good one there.
You're crushing right now. The Broncos defense, the gaps they filled, Trey Greenlaw is a leader. A big loss to the 49ers, and one of these very unique.
They're going to feel that loss.
One of these guys who's just an impact guy in ways that other guys aren't. They got rid of the Caden Stearns of the world, and you go get you who? What's my guy?
Hufanga.
Who? One time?
Say it again.
Hufanga.
Hufanga. Hufanga.
Hufanga. So
that's
another development year for the young Jonathan Coopers and Nick Bonito's old name.
Yeah.
See, Nick Bonito can save us.
Then you add a Jahdae Barron. This defense filled all the holes, got some real leadership guys, and the Hufanga just said some stuff very interesting that the Broncos locker room is like the guys have relationships.
That's
There's a connection. It's not just about business like it is in the 49ers and whatever was going on there, and it's a totally different vibe. He said a Super Bowl vibe, and he knows because they've been there.
That's powerful.
It's like the South days.
That's the secret sauce, man, is when you can get a team to play together, play for each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And to have that culture.
Say it again, Mufasa.
Sean Payton's been building that over the last few years. I mean, if you look back just 2 years ago, come on, go back the season before.
Yep.
They're the laughing stock of the NFL. They're picked the worst. Pro Football Focus picked them the worst team. Come on.
Dead freaking last.
So how do you go from last to a 10-win season to now everybody's saying, hey, the Broncos might win the AFC West?
Say it again.
I know.
Say it louder for the people in
The
back.
Broncos AFC West champion.
Oh, that's
2025. That'd be awesome.
Is that because of Sean Payton?
Because of Sean
What do you
Payton,
mean by that?
I mean,
I think
Vance,
it's an organization. Vance Johnson a little bit of credit.
Vance Joseph, yeah, absolutely.
Vance Joseph.
Which one? Vance?
That's him in the middle.
Johnson.
Not him.
Where's my arm going?
Vance Joseph.
Vance Joseph is
Absolutely.
obviously Vance
effort.
Joseph is a talented coach, a unique coach. Has had success everywhere he's been except for here.
Well, but who hired him?
Well, watch
Who
this.
kept him on board?
What?
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
But look at this.
Come on.
Just a year ago, before the 2024, the Broncos go into Miami, and what happened?
72?
70-something? I was coaching in Little League that day.
That was like,
Damn.
I think it was 70.
I was like lost to see us downtown watching that game thinking, what? That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Stop. What did you say? You use an F-bomb.
Well,
talking about the Rockies.
No.
Were you doing that?
Guys.
Were you doing that with the Broncos? Yeah. So this goes to show
13 show.
what culture does, man. When you get a self-policing culture, when you get guys that are playing for each other, when you get like a situation that's starting to happen here, you can feel it.
The Mila Kimes? Mila or Mina?
Mina?
You say tomato.
She has a show now that it replaced not PTI, but the Buzzer One. Around the Horn.
Yeah.
It's on right now. It's a 30-minute show. Dominique Foxworth was her co-host. It was over the last couple of days watching on the airplane, and they were talking about the best defenses in the NFL. And they were ciphering through. They're kind of doing some of the talk, some of the jive talk. I speak jive.
You speak jive? I speak jive.
And she said she's respected Mina Kimes.
Yeah.
Mina Kimes.
So respected, you don't know her name.
Yeah. I respect her.
She said the Broncos defense is the best. And Dominique Foxworth, who played for the Denver Broncos defense.
Slightly biased?
No, he was a bit taken back. She kind of talked him into it, and then when she kind of hit him with the green laws and some of that stuff, he said, yeah, that they have what it takes to be very, very special. We know the football is shaped funny and what?
It bounces in different...
It bounces weird.
Who knows?
So the turnover stuff, that comes or goes or doesn't happen, but at the core of it, you have the foundation of a great defense. The Broncos have something special happening.
I think the Detroit Lions we might have left out too. They lost a couple players on the back end, but let's not squeeze on Detroit. And then the LA Rams guys do the two rookies.
That's the one right there.
Holy shnikes.
I think the Rams are probably underrated in this discussion. If there's going to be a quiet top 5 or 6 or 7, it's whatever McVay does with those guys.
And then here's what'll be fun to see is how did the Jacksonville Jaguars defense turn out with that guy? Who'd they draft when we were at the bar?
Travis Hunter.
I'm keeping my eye on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wouldn't it be something if they just sneak up into the top 5 defenses? Because Travis out there just locking down their best guy.
New coach, style of play thing. They're not going to air it out, try to make too many mistakes. Maybe the style of play will lead to...
Isn't it like a turnkey year for Trevor Lawrence?
I'd say it's a do or die year for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, like is he real or is he Memorex?
Well, he's either going to be like Tebow in Florida, or he'll be Tebow on the stage at some cool, event. But he's either going to be a quarterback or not.
I see a lot of potential.
Yeah,
you have potential. You have potential. It's a lie. It's a lie.
That's a lie.
Pinocchio.
That's Pinocchio.
It's a room full of losers. That's what those...
Well, if Trevor Lawrence can't do it with Brian Thomas Jr., right, and with Travis Hunter,
that's sweet.
Then I don't know if he can do it.
This we're around. He was the gambling man. He was the Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley's sweet, bro.
Let's go. Okay,
let's see where they rank.
They're set.
So I have the rankings here. Over-unders for 2025 season. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. This is for all the marbles. This is for all the Gatorade.
Okay.
So if you want Gatorade...
You went to Vegas for these numbers, right?
Yeah. It's Yahoo Sports.
No, Vegas went to Mark for these numbers.
Yahoo Sports.
Okay.
This is according to Yahoo Sports.
Okay.
So, how do we start this? Let me see.
Over-unders for the NFL season. Okay.
Give us 5 or 6 Jeffs that you think matter.
Jeff and I will compete.
So who are the top 4 teams in the NFL? So there's 4 teams that have an over-under of 11.5.
So that's 4 teams.
That's the top.
That's the Eagles.
Together.
Let's compete together.
That's the top.
There's 4
That's
teams.
the Eagles, the Lions.
Hold on. Calm down.
I got 2. You take 2.
The Chiefs. Eagles.
Whoa. Just go one at a time. So you said Chiefs. Who you going to say?
I said Eagles and Lions.
Give me one. We're going to go. Eagles. Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you.
Chiefs.
Ding, 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 ding.
Lions.
Blow him up. Blow him up.
Fool.
Get him up.
Over 10.5?
Blow it up. Blow him up. 11.5. Don't cheat.
Sorry.
Come on. Okay. An NFL team that is going to have over 11.5 wins this season would have to be the Ravens.
Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you.
The Ravens.
The last team.
Over 11.5 wins. The Vikings.
Blow
him up.
What? J.J. McCarthy's sick.
Stop it, man. Your blood is so purple.
I'll still.
Blood is orange.
Give me the still.
It's going for the steal.
I was just in the state.
Yes, you were.
It's the Buffalo Bills.
It is. Oh, same 4 teams from last year.
Boom, boom, boom. That's K-Rod.
So all 4 of those teams were picked last year at 11.5. Now at 10.5, there's 2 teams at 10.5. Just 2. I'd like to go first. Rock, paper, scissors. 2 teams. I'll give it to Jeff first. Jeff goes first.
It's got to be the Detroit Lions. Detroit's very good at football. Thank you. They're very good.
All right, Danny.
Shoot.
For anyone over
10.5.
10.5.
And it's the.
It's not the 39ers.
It's just
Hold on. It's the 49ers.
It's the 49ers. Ding, ding, ding.
No way.
Ding, 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 ding.
I didn't believe
The
that.
Detroit Lions and the 49ers. Now 9.5. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams at 9.5. This should be easy.
Okay. I'll go Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Vikings.
Blow him up.
My feelings are hurting.
You can't keep picking your favorite team for every answer, Jeff.
He bleeds.
That's the how competing works.
That's the how competing works.
Sad face.
How about the Chargers?
Got 3 blow-ups. Ding, 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 ding.
The Rams.
Ding, 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 ding. It was getting tougher. 9.5.
The Dolphins.
Blow him up.
I shouldn't have done that.
Blow him up.
I knew better.
Well, that's your first blow-up, huh?
I knew better.
He's at 1. I'm at 2 blow-ups.
Yeah, okay.
Both of mine were Vikings. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans.
Ding, 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 ding.
Good one. How many are left?
You have 1, 2, 3 left. 4 left.
Don't look, Danny.
4.
I'm not.
4 left?
4 left.
A lot.
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys got the Texans, the Chargers, and the Rams so far, and the Bucks.
Then I would have to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Boom.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sucker.
Very good one. That was good.
Thanks. Feel good about it. It was hard work.
I'm sorry. Were the Chargers already up?
Yeah.
Chargers off the
So
board.
there's 3 left. 2 or 3?
You got the Texans, the Chargers, the Packers, the Rams, and the Bucks.
There's 2.
There's 3 left.
Oh,
3 left.
Okay. The Bucks was a good one. That was a good one.
3 left.
It's not this.
3 left. 3 left.
That's hard.
It's Seattle Seahawks.
Blow him up.
You fool.
Oh, the Seahawks? Come on.
Seahawks.
Okay. I'm going to have to go back to
I'm so disappointed right now.
the AFC
The AFC
and
sucks.
go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's a good one.
Oh, Danny, blow him up.
Really?
Blow him up. You got
The Redskins. The Redskins.
Yeah. No, blow him up. There's no such thing.
The Commanders.
That's a good one. That's
You're
Commanders.
racist.
You racist.
I don't see color. I'm
2
gonna call
teams
them the
left.
not the
I
Colts.
can't believe you guys. 2 teams left.
Colts. Not the
2 teams left
You
at
can guess.
9.5. You can guess the Colts if you like to.
I'll take the Colts.
Blow him up. Blow him up. Oh, you're catching him. I think you're like tied now.
Eat trick.
You might be one back.
So there's the Redskins. Shit, it's not the Giants.
So
It's not the Cowboys. It is the Cowboys. It's the Dallas Cowboys.
blow him up.
Oh, my God.
What are you guys doing? Our ratings are going to go down after this show.
After we're hitting those many thousand.
We just talked about the best defenses in the NFL, and you guys haven't named one of them as a 9-game winning season. Danny,
Somebody kick me in the nuts right now.
This one's easy. It's the...
That's not easy.
Fish.
come on.
I got one. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Thank you. Ding, ding, ding. He stole one from you. And now there's just one team left.
There's one more.
There's one
9.5.
Half-win team. Who else is in the division with the Packers and the Vikings?
The Bears.
The Bears.
It can't be the Bears.
No.
It can't be.
It's not the Bears. Don't. Let's not waste a pick there.
That's so stupid.
It's not the Seahawks.
Not the Cardinals. I thought the Seahawks.
Falcons? Finally.
Mike Penix?
Blow both of them up.
Or
You kidding me?
we give up.
Wait,
You guys are killing me. The Denver Broncos.
I've never heard of them.
Come on. The Denver Broncos. Come on. 9.5. Started from the bottom. Now we here. Started from the bottom. Now the whole team here. All right. You guys totally sucked at that.
I forgot Denver had a football team.
At 8.5, you got the Cardinals, the Bears, the Dolphins, the Vikings, and the Steelers. All the guys that you put up weren't good. At 7.5, you have the Falcons, the Cowboys, the Colts, the Jags, the Patriots, and the Seahawks. Let's go down to the bottom. Let's go to the bottom of the barrel. 5.5. Who are the worst 4 teams in the league? So there's 3 at 5.5, and there's
The Browns,
one
the
at 4.5.
Jags. The Browns, the Jags. The Raiders. The Raiders.
Blow them up.
Wait, blow what up?
What?
Wait, what are we talking about? Worst?
Well, you just named 3, and you got 1 out of the 3.
What the?
What?
Not the Bears.
Worst team.
Arizona Cardinals are bad.
Worst team.
good.
This is the worst that they've ever. This team is the worst they've ever had. Been ranked in 35 years.
The Jets and the Giants.
The Giants, yeah, but the Jets are also 5.5.
Yeah, the Jets. I forgot about.
Who's the Jets head coach?
I have no idea.
No,
they fight. Yeah.
you're fired.
Yeah, I don't know who their head coach is.
Damn.
So it's the Jets, the Giants, and the Titans at 5.5. The Titans.
Who did they draft? It's a quarterback. They didn't. They rolled Will Levis again.
You guys trying to hit a? Are you guys trying to hit a 30 minutes?
Yeah, we're trying. This was the funny. All right, Cleveland Browns are 4.5 game over under, and I think I take that bet. I'm actually gonna take that bet. I'm gonna bet that
taking the over.
Shadur Sanders is gonna be the quarterback.
Believe that,
and he's gonna rally the team
because their best QB, the guy
8-win season.
Who's the best QB on the Browns right now?
I don't know. Some people are saying Gabriel's throwing the ball pretty good.
Still, Gabriel's.
I don't think he
5 foot nothing, 100 nothing.
Shador's the most talented guy. It's got to be, I would think. All right, let's go to break. That was fun.
No, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done?
That's our ton, dude. Just 30 minutes. It was a 30-minute segment.
That was done.
You want to do 30 more minutes? What are you, Rogan?
That was strong.
That was the Elevation episode number 12 on Fanday Nation. If you would like to hit us up, react to us, like and subscribe, anything that Fanday Nation does, there's a lot of other shows and things that Fanday Nation has going on besides us. We're just a centerpiece of everything they do.
You have a cluttered garage or maybe your office space. Maybe you have some partner problems. They're just getting irritated with your clutter and your disgusting stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
And digitalspacesdenver.com can help you with that.
One more shout out.
Yeah. Shout out.
Digital Spaces has made your stuff look really good. Appreciate that. But I'm going to need to
organize these getaways.
Yeah. I'm going to have to make a little room in the garage because I'm headed to Wyoming. I'm going to Jurassic Fireworks and Artillery World, hitting that border.
Nice.
Doing some of that borderline illegal stuff, crossing the border.
Oh, force the force.
I'm getting those artillery shells. We're getting those fountains that are just
flamethrower.
I'm telling you, Jurassic and Artillery World have been going there for years, and they got the best. You cross that border, you got lots of options. But my guy Pete there, it's no joke. This is the best. Tell him the spare.
Tell him what, Pete. We're not put us every year at this time. We talk about how great Pete is, and then a week later, Danny comes back with thousands and thousands of dollars worth of fireworks for hundreds of dollars.
No, so
do that math.
Artillery World and Jurassic Fireworks. When you
do you have a favorite firework?
Yeah, the Scream, and it got the whistling meanies.
You're a whistling. You got a favorite firework?
Roman candle.
Roman candle.
They're the best. Got you can shoot them at each other.
So you got that Husker. Don't.
Definitely don't. Husker don't. I like the ones that blow up and then they go into little ones and then blow up again. But this is like when you're at Coors Field.
Yeah, I like the sparkler.
Don't buy those at home.
This. All right. Mark Jackson.
This guy, Mark in the middle.
You're pro. One of my favorite guys. Jeff Gerst, give me one right here, Coach. Boom. You're a good man. I am Danny Williams. We'll see you for episode 13 of The Elevation on Fanday Nation.